Well, I wanted to record this activity because it's pretty important for today's lesson, so we'll kind of go through it together. I hope this is playing on the big screen and you students have your computer open to Canvas, and we'll do all this. So once you get it open, we'll just pause till everyone's ready. Here we're going to take a look at like the highest paid NFL quarterback salaries over the years. So if you just click this link right here, it'll take you open to this spreadsheet. And it started way back in 2004 with Peyton Manning. You know, he was the highest paid salary, quarterback at least, at $14.1 million, and you can see the data here. So they ask us to like put it into the two quantitative variables applet. So you can pause this so students can get time to open that applet up, and we'll put in the year and the salary in millions. So then if I begin the analysis, it'll make us a nice little scatter plot of it, you know. And when we go back to the activity right here, they say click the button that says calculate the least squares regression line. So if I go here and I just scroll down a little bit, there's two buttons. One, calculate the correlation. They didn't ask us to do that, but that's the R value. Homework will ask you to do that on some of these. So how do you find the R value? Just click that button. But here they wanted us to click the least squares regression line, which what it did was kind of make like a line of best fit for the data. It did a bunch of math all behind it. But if we scroll on down to the summary statistics, it gives us this equation right here. So this is the guy. If you just copy and paste this dude, it'll kind of put it in there for you. But I don't want to copy that Y hat thing right there. You see, that's not really a Y equals. That's pronounced like Y hat. And homework's not going to like that Y hat either. So we'll just type Y equals with our normal keyboard and then like paste the rest of it in that case. So this is the equation for the least squares regression line. And we might need to write that guy down because we're going to use him for a lot of stuff. So if you need to write it down, great. Otherwise, it's right there in your applet. So to do the next question right here, they say, hey, yo, Matthew Stafford, he's a different quarterback. In 2017, he was the highest paid quarterback. So let's use the equation from the previous question, which as you can see, it only went up to 2013, right? So Matthew Stafford was in 2017. So if I kind of scroll back and show you the graph of this, 2017, it's not that far off, you know, from this. So let's see how this line, which is only predicting how this data work, rolls with that. So all we got to do is put 2017 in for X because 2017 is a year. So we'll do that. The hard part is we're definitely going to need a calculator today. We've got to punch these nasty little guys in. So negative 1612.158 plus 0.811 times 2017, because that's the year they wanted us to put in. And this will predict what his salary was. We'll kind of just round that to one decimal place and be like $23.6 million is what this data predicted he would have. So we go in here and boom, there you go, 23.6 is one of the choices. But on the next slide, again, please pause the video if I'm going too fast, like he actually made $27 million that year, right? So we predicted with this line that he would make 23.6, but he actually made $27 million. So how does this compare to the answer we got? It's either higher, lower, or the same. You can answer that. And then on the next slide, they say take the actual salary that Matthew Stafford got, $27 million, and subtract away what our equation predicted of 23.6. So I'm just going to type in what you need to do. You obviously don't have to type that. You just put it in, 27 minus 23.6. And would you believe, like, the difference between those is 3.4. But here's the real trick, is we have to do it in that order. You have to do actual minus predicted, right? He actually got 27 million, and the formula predicted that he'd get 23.6. So the difference of those is 3.4, and that's because like he made $3.4 million more than what was predicted. That was like the answer to the previous question right here, because he made higher than that. 27 is higher than what was the predicted. And how do you know it's higher? Because that's a positive number. So there is a stop sign here because why we wanted to stop is we kind of talked through that in class, and what we just did, this actual minus predicted, is called a residual. That's part of what today's lesson is. That's a weird word. You'll see it on your worksheet, residual. So now let's see if we can answer the next two questions. They say, hey man, in 2024, Dak Prescott, he was the highest paid quarterback. Let's use that formula from earlier, way back here, this same formula, right, to predict what Dak Prescott would make in 2024. So we do the same thing that we did here. We're just going to type all that over again, but I'm going to just go back and change that 2017 to 2024. And you see how much Dak Prescott was predicted to make. That's what this formula is about. It would predict that he makes about $29.3 million, right? So that's this formula. Going back to our activity, we can type that in, 29.3, but OMG, Becky, check out what he actually made on the next question. They predicted him to make 29.3. Dak Prescott really made $60 million in 2024. So that's wild. To find the residual, we will take the actual salary, which again is 60, minus the predicted salary of 29.3, and we'll see what that is, right? 60 minus 29.3, and man, was that formula off, right? It was off by $30.7 million. Like 30.7 is what's called the residual. It's like how far off was it? Why is it positive? Totally because like he made more than what was predicted. You can get negative values for a residual. That just means it was like less than what was predicted. So it's actual minus predicted. And then the last question on the survey is, why do you think that residual was so big? Why was the predicted so far away? I'm not going to tell you the answer on that. I'll let you type that in, and then when we're done with all this, you can shut the computer down, and then the rest of the lesson can be watched on the different video. So 2 different videos today. Watch this activity, then we'll go do the practice worksheet.